Over the last 11 years, this country has made remarkable strides. And this did not happen just like that. It happened because of an intentional intent by our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. Just before I get into the 5G, just want to, most of you probably are aware of it, but still, these are the things that we have to be celebrated, not just within these four walls, but around the world as well. So we have become one of only 5 nations globally standing shoulder to shoulder with technology giants Nokia, Ericsson, Samsung, Huawei to develop completely indigenous 4G and 5G stack. And India is the first indigenous SIM-less 5G wireless access device inventor as well. This is the first time. This is not that was developed in Silicon Valley, Seoul or Stockholm, right here, first time in India. So this must be celebrated as well. So a nation that was once seen as just as a market, today is in the process of becoming a master of innovation. We have proven with whether it is fastest 5G rollout or making everyone having an internet access mobile phone. We have proven the speed, scale, and self-reliance all can go hand in hand. So this must be celebrated as well. And as Mittalji has said, Prime Minister Modi ji has very good vision, very few leaders have in this country. He thought about how to create these 5G labs, test labs across the nation, not in metro cities, but every small city, so that the innovation can come from some of the rural areas as well. And these test beds have become the launch pads for startups, students, MSMEs, researchers, launch pads for this kind of innovation. And then, in any government program, always these things start with noble intention, but implementation, when it comes to actual implementation, it dies down. That's why, we have taken this gradation approach in such a way, there is a continuous pressure because we have invested huge amount of money to build these test labs across the country. How can we do that? That's why, Mittalji is right. I sat with it. I don't know how many of you know about my background. I was originally a doctor. I went to US. I built my own edtech business from bootstrap with no mentors, and it became a multi-billion-dollar business. I still run that business, couple hours, an hour or two a day at night. But 25 years I stayed in US. I came back, so I understand what many of you are going through right now, startups, these kind of things. So it is important. I have seen all for every prototype, coming up with idea, developing a prototype, and these are all not easy. And obviously, our teams have worked systematically, and it seems like more than 1,000 people have applied. That's very important. This country is becoming. I also spoke yesterday. Innovation, the startup, the culture is becoming like a people's movement. A national activism, a collective mission. Everybody's talking about it. Today we have close to 1.9 lakh startups. It's not easy that being registered that many startups. With patents have increased from 40,000 to 80,000 in the last 11 years. And this is a remarkable story. Not that every startup will become a multi-billion-dollar business, but the key here is whoever participating in this entire startup ecosystem, whether these 1.9 lakhs or these 1,000 startups, ideas that you all have participated. Of course, there will be only few winners, and 50 have gotten some money, and the other few winners are going to get more money. But everyone who is not only the winners are not the winners. I believe everyone who participated in this process is a winner, in my view. The reason is, anytime you intensively work on an idea, you will work from multiple angles. You will see how hard it is to build certain things in this world. Then you get a lot of respect for the people who work extremely hard, and built something, that inherently will create a positive attitude about innovation in India and around the world. And somehow it is going to help you when you join a bigger company. Your attitude will change. You become part of that company, and you will continuously think in the back of your mind. Because if you look at it, I lived in Dallas almost 15 years, 10 years in Pennsylvania. But whenever I go to Silicon Valley to go for a week or something, there the culture is whole different. People, the way they talk is different, the way they think is different compared to what people in Dallas or Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania and Dallas people are a little bit relaxed. They talk about, but when you go to California, it's all about what am I building? What is the startup? So that's the culture, that infectious passion is what's going to drive you in becoming a winner in the future, even if you are not successful in this one. So please do not take anything that you are not getting a check or something today. So, and all the researchers that are here, I also wanted to tell you a few things. Your research, I also worked with, fortunately, very few people in research and academia are also a business people. Because the way they think is different, because that's why they're in the first place in that institution as a researcher, as an academician, because they inherently don't think about money. They don't think about themselves. If they think about how can I teach, that's the DNA that they have. And that is an advantage and a disadvantage. The advantage is obviously you are quite passionate about teaching the people, but the disadvantage is also how can really in reality business works. So that's at the end of the day, people, whoever is working, inventing, you are losing two things. One, obviously you're losing time to build something if you are not working on the right thing, right? Second, if when you call it as a failure or something not clicking, confidence could be an issue. So these are the things. So that's why it is important for the academicians to think two or three ways. One, whatever you do, it has to at least translate into two or three major areas. One, it has to go into these standards, patents, and preferably commercialization as well. Not every innovation is going to be a commercially successful innovation, but you can contribute to an incremental innovation that will lead to a much broader, bigger innovation at some point in the future. So having that goal in mind, is it going to be a standard? Is it going to be a patent that could be useful for the future? And third, does it really have a commercial value? So that, when you have that kind of commercial value, is then taking it to swiftly into a scalable, market ready product is extremely important. How you integrate a tech, get outside help from either consultancy people, some business people who have experience, so that these young people don't lose valuable time in working on something that's unlikely to be of commercial value. And then the third thing is, let them think. They shouldn't be, their motive from the beginning itself shouldn't be like they want to be an engineer. They shouldn't be just like a researcher. You have to identify which person has which DNA, and that is a core competence. Researcher's DNA is different from an engineer DNA, from an entrepreneur DNA. You have to identify, segregate them, and promote whoever has that entrepreneurial DNA quickly to become entrepreneurs and innovators, and providing resources for the researchers who are going to strive in that research area. So if you do these kind of things, obviously India can become one of the best countries in the world, because we have STEM is where the entire thing, science, when you look at America and all this stuff, they're all quite successful because of STEM. And not because of the American people, but because of the high quality immigrant people. So we're going there and building everything. You look at every tech company, every CEO is from India. So it's the same. These days we have a lot of geopolitical risks, and in my view, it's actually the best thing that could happen to India. So all these people, if they stay here and if we build this entrepreneurial ecosystem, India can be a great story. All I want to say at the end, today the world is watching India, history is being written, and all of you hold that pen. So I want you to unshakably believe in India's capability to shape the technological future of humanity. Thank you.